Hey there guys, how's it going, and welcome to a new gold gun video. Now today we're going to be looking at the golden AK47, and I should probably say before I get stuck into this commentary that the reason my voice sounds a little bit weird is that I'm currently recovering from a sore throat. I would have been able to do this gold gun video a few days earlier, however yesterday I was getting so many voice cracks that a commentary really wouldn't have come out very well, and the day before that I couldn't even speak. But I'm on the mend now, so I'm nearly back to normal with my voice, and I think by tomorrow I'll be back to normal. But I wanted to do this video because it's been a little while since gold gun video, and I really wanted to move on to the next one, get this one over and done with. So I decided to do the golden AK47. A couple of reasons for that. I didn't think many of you would have actually seen it gold because it's not one of the easiest to use or most used assault rifles, and also it's quite a late unlock. So two reasons why you probably won't see many people getting this gold, apart from probably in a couple of months when everyone's like prestige 10 and got every gun going. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad gold, it doesn't look amazing. For some reason it still has a black part of the gun. I'm not sure why they didn't just make that part as gold as well. Unfortunately, I don't know what that bit of the gun's called, that plasticky looking part that's attached to it. I don't know if it's some sort of grip or something. Maybe one of you gun nuts can tell me, because unfortunately my knowledge isn't too good with that kind of thing. So what do I actually think about it? What are the best perks to use? How can you be most effective with this gun? Because I'm sure a lot of you would like to try and use this gun for something a little bit different. I doubt many of you have been using it regularly. There's no real advantage to using this gun over, say, well, the ACR or one of the easier guns to handle. But there is a certain way to play with it to make it more effective, and by the end of my time using this gun, I was actually getting pretty good with it and getting some good scores. I still wouldn't call it a gun that I'd go to if I was having a real bad time and I really needed to get a good score, but you can definitely become better with it, and there's a certain way of playing with it to do that. Now let's quickly talk about the damage stats for this gun. It is 49 damage close and 25 damage at range, so it's going to be a 3-hit kill at close range unless one is a headshot, then it's going to be a 2-hit kill, and it's going to be a 4-hit kill from far away unless one of them is a headshot again, and then it becomes a 3-hit kill. So for these reasons, it's pretty good at close quarters. You don't really want to be far away from the enemy when trying to shoot them, and so for that reason I use this gun quite aggressively. With some assault rifles I suggest using them in a slightly more defensive role, but this one suits an attacking role because it's decent at close range and because of this strange recoil that it's got, which is quite difficult to handle at range. Now in the previous Call of Duties, the AK-47 always had an up and down vertical recoil, which I really loved because it used to put a lot of the new players off using it because it was bouncing all around and people were like, oh no, what's this recoil about? You know, give me something which has got a nice simple recoil. But the plus side of getting used to the AK-47 recoil was always that it was a little bit more powerful than the other assault rifles, but that's not the case in this game. They've nerfed it a little bit in my opinion. However, you can still make advantage of how it plays. Like you can see here, when I'm getting close to the enemy and hip firing them, I'm actually dropping them pretty quick. So I like to rush with this gun, so these are the perks that I like to use: sleight of hand, hardline and steady aim. Now sleight of hand, just because when I'm rushing I just really like the quickness of reload. The quick reload kind of suits the game style, and when it's a slow reload I kind of feel like it's not putting me off, so to speak, but it's not helping me, whereas a nice fast reload, it keeps me nice and fresh and on my feet and keeps me thinking fast. Ideally I'd like to use extreme conditioning and sleight of hand with this gun, but you can't do that in this game. I think you could in Black Ops on those two perks, but another voice crack. So I'll carry on. I'm always going to get voice crack recording, but no, for that reason I like to use specialist. I think specialist is one of the best things to use this gun because it's useful to have quite a lot of different perks with this one. Like I'd like to use assassin with this gun because I'm actually in the spawn a lot of the time, but instead I go for hardline and just put a silencer on and hope for the best. Hardline I think is a good perk to use because the other perks in that perk slot don't really give you much of an advantage, and as long as you use specialist you can put your blast shield and your assassin, which are two good perks, but you can put them in some of your early slots like you can see I'm doing here. I started putting blind eye on because I found I was getting shot by air support a lot at the beginning. Once you get a little bit better, or if you've got a really good team, then I'd suggest that you don't really need to put blind eye on. I only really put blind eye on when I'm playing on my own, and if I'm using a gun that's not very good, so I know the enemy are probably going to get a fair amount of air support. The third perk I'm using here is steady aim, and those of you who have watched my previous gold gun videos, especially ones where I'm using an assault rifle, know that I'm a massive fan of the marksman perk, and 9 times out of 10 I'd probably use that on, well, most guns, to be honest with you. However, as you can see from this video and from what I've said, I'm using this gun quite aggressively and shooting from the hip a lot, so marksman's not going to really be any help to me, and when you're shooting people at long range with this weapon, the strange recoil really doesn't help. Now, in terms of attachments, I like to use extended mags or silencer. However, because of the bad recoil, don't need to go. The recoil's not that bad. It's just bad compared to the other guns. It's a little bit strange to get used to. So for that reason I like to shoot from the hip, but because of that I like to use the silencer. For those of you who don't know this, actually the silencer stops so much of the muzzle flash. You'll notice if you look carefully when you shoot a gun, a lot of the guns will have a flash which actually sparks at the tip of the gun, which stops you seeing the target so clearly, but when you put a silencer on it, it stops that, so it actually helps your vision. I know Xbox Ahoy likes to use a red dot sight or holographic on this gun. That's not a bad choice either, but for me personally, because I like to play such a rushing game style, as you can see, it kind of really works, to be honest. I mean, on this map it's working really well. I like to have a silencer just so the enemy don't know where I'm coming from, so I'd rather have a silencer than a red dot sight. And I've always liked using silencers. I would use extended mags, apart from, you know, like I say, the bad recoil. So I hope you guys try this gun out. It's something a little bit different, but it does take some getting used to. I definitely recommend using it the way I'm using it in this video here. If you'd like to check out some of my other gold gun videos, there's a link on screen for the playlist, as well as some other stuff of mine, like top 5 pieces of the week. I suggest you check it all out. Be sure to like and favourite. It takes only a second and it really helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next video.